This is good for the show because you're pretty and we're not. So this will be good. Want a cigar?
No, because I'm going to be talking and then it'll go out.
But then you'll be able to show people that you really know how to do it, as opposed
Oh
to,
my
do
God.
I need to cut and light it for you?
Princess?
I prefer the V cut, honestly.
You prefer a V cut.
Yes.
All right,
That
so
doesn't make her difficult because I just handed her a straight cut. She prefers the V cut. Doesn't make her difficult.
Really?
Jasmine is married. Her husband smokes cigars. And is that how you got into smoking
No.
cigars? Not at all.
did you
No.
get him into smoking cigars?
No, actually, we both. There we go.
Discovered that's what
I
you
don't want
both
to
like.
grab under the
That's
table.
okay.
No, I actually started smoking cigars in high school.
Really?
Like between laundry batches, or while the cake was cooking.
No.
What's going
I
on?
actually bake cakes, so.
Go figure.
No, no my friend Desiree and I got into it. So,
From high school.
From
Smoking
high school.
cigars. So you meet him.
a while after high school, yeah.
Yeah.
I met him. And I actually didn't smoke cigars for a while. And nobody I knew liked him. My first husband didn't like him, couldn't stand him, all
Okay.
that. So,
And
then
he was already a cigar smoker?
Rich?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he had stopped smoking cigars for a while, too.
Okay.
And then one day, I forget how, but we both figured out that we both like cigars. And when he found out, of course, his reaction was a little different than mine when I found out he liked them. But then we started going to cigar shops all the time.
You really do smoke cigars. There's no
Yes.
doubt
She really
about
does.
it. You don't smoke the quote girly cigars, and I got to be careful saying that. What I mean by that is a little thin, mild cigar or something, because sometimes you'll light up a big, heavy cigar, no problem.
Never seen her turn white or anything to her credit.
No, I haven't. I smoke stronger stuff than a lot of the guys I
Than
know.
me?
So, yeah.
It doesn't take much to smoke something stronger than Dave, but
But I'll smoke everything. This isn't a mild cigar right off the bat. This has got something to it. It's Corojo and Nicaraguan, so it's got some strength to it. I'd say
got
medium
some,
plus.
a little
Yeah.
vanilla flavor on the exhaust.
You got any grape?
No, I didn't get the grape. I'm
That
sorry.
was before you lit it. Now it's too late.
No, I did before I lit it. I was trying. I was curious over there. I was like, grape, really? But I didn't.
Well,
Not
Just
everyone
grape
has the
bubble
same
but I
well-defined
didn't.
palate
I
that I
didn't
have.
I've never had Welch's grape gum. I don't know what gum that
You're
is.
missing out, really.
Sorry.
Turns your whole mouth purple. It's a whole experience.
Okay, so now you guys both like cigars. I've seen Rich come in and get cigars and sit down with the guys and smoke cigars.
Yep.
Would you go into a cigar store and sit with the guys and smoke cigars?
It's definitely a different situation for a woman.
Of course.
I usually go with him
Yeah,
because it's a man cave atmosphere.
yeah.
So when we first go someplace, it's always with him because as a woman, I want to respect the man cave.
All right, good.
I want to be respectful.
You
of
don't
that.
want to
Because you-
stink it up with your perfume and your hair gels and all that stuff.
He uses more hair gel than I do. No, he really does.
He's very well kept.
Hi,
Yes.
honey.
Hi, honey. Okay.
No, so I have the same sense of humor that goes along with a lot of
Right,
guys
you
too.
sure do.
But most guys are fairly respectful of women in the shop. But
Yeah.
you get the looks when you come in, and especially when you sit
I'm sure.
down and you light up a cigar, you get the
Really?
know.
To see,
yeah, like, oh, you really smoke cigars,
because you realize
Yes.
you don't bump into a lot of other girls while you're in the cigar shop.
right? And when I do, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there's another one.
Yeah.
And then they usually just leave. I'm like, oh. But yeah, it's I usually don't come in by myself and sit down and smoke. Just I usually have things
How,
to
how
do.
about at home? You do smoke in the house?
No.
Outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, because while she's sweeping the floor, the ash from the cigar would fall right where she just swept,
And
and
it
then
has
you
to
have to
sweep again.
re-sweep.
if Rich wasn't home and it was a nice day out there and you did what you had to do already for the day, would you ever light up a cigar and just sit there by yourself? Really?
Do you have your own humidor?
Oh yeah, mine's bigger than his.
There we go. Hers is bigger than yours.
Mine's twice the size of his.
That is a whole nother show.
Smoke it right, you light it and cut it right. I got nothing
Do
here.
you do push-ups every day?
No,
Okay. You're not that manly. That's good.
no. I do tend to use the Bowflex.
Now,
Right.
and you've met the cigar companies, all the people that come into the cigar store, the cigar manufacturers and stuff like that. There's only a handful of cigar shops, 4,000 cigar shops in the country. There's a handful of women-owned cigar shops. When it comes to the cigar brands, there's 1,100 of them in here. There's a handful of cigar brand owners. One in particular, I'm shocked actually they didn't mention in this magazine, was Heather Phillips, who is the pioneer, I believe, the first woman to get into the cigar business as her own brand, which was Heaven. Girly flavored cigars. That's what she got into.
Well, they didn't start off that way.
No, there was she worked at this cigar lounge in Florida, I believe, called Heaven. And they had regular cigar brands that we actually carried way back then, and they were sizes like the Machiavelli, and it was tough guy type of cigars. And something happened to him, and he went to jail, and they auctioned off the stuff, and she actually bought the trademark, and then she came out with the flavored cigars with the girls with the angel wings and all that stuff. And she has a regular brand called the Red Lion, which is she has red hair and she's the Red Lion type of thing. Never really took off on the Red Lion. They're known as the flavored cigar thing. Since then, you saw CAO come out with flavored cigars and all these different people, but she kind of pioneered the flavored cigar end and kind of like started what you would think, or what I would think, girly cigars are. And I know there's people going to beat us up on saying girly cigars.
Well, I think they're the gateway into cigars for a lot of people. Flavored
gateway
cigars.
drug. The gateway drug.
Don't call it a drug. That's
Yeah,
bad.
very good. Now, getting into the cigar business 27 years ago was old guys that were the cigar reps and carry around these big cases with their samples around it, and they were old guys that smoked cigars. That's who the cigar reps were. Now we're starting to see pretty girls as cigar reps. Are they really into cigars? I don't think so. I think they're there because maybe the cigar owner would buy more cigars from a pretty girl than they would from the old guy, or at least get their foot in the door better because they look the way they look.
Sure.
Kelly from Altadas is our rep up here in New England. I remember when they ended up hiring her, and I knew a lot of people that went up for the job, but they hired her. Never smoked cigars, no cigars experience, doesn't know about cigars at all, but she is a girl. They hired her. It's been over 2 years, and I hear she's rocking. She's doing a great job, but she was hired for a different reason, not from cigars
you walk in to
experience.
sell cigars in a bikini, and someone's going to buy.
I've seen some female cigar reps that clearly the reason they make their sales is their outfit.
Now,
Or lack thereof.
Or
yeah.
lack thereof.
Now, if
exactly.
if it was mostly ladies that own cigar stores, it wouldn't work.
Not necessarily, because a lot of women, if you dress a certain way and you're professional about it, a lot of women will respect another woman in their field. But you have to think, okay, she didn't have prior cigar experience. Well, that's kind of a downfall, but going into sales and anything, you're not always going to have prior experience into that.
There was every experienced cigar person went for this job,
And they chose her.
and they chose her. Why did they choose her? We know why they chose her.
She had potential.
Potential is a good word for it. Potential. Mr. Jonathan calls it other things, but potential would be a good word.
I'm being appropriate here.
Thank you.
Trying to be.
And we talked about consumers. I'll tell you, we have in our database right now 55,000 cigar customers over 27 years. We build them up as it goes on. There's 55,000 of them. Of women who bought a box of cigars for themselves over 27 years, I can name in one hand. It really doesn't happen.
I'm on that hand.
There you go.
Then it wasn't flavored cigars either.
This was the bad example. If this was anybody
Yeah.
else, it could have really, the show would have went a whole different way.
Okay, I'll try to.
No,
I
it's
was
good
kind
though.
of hoping.
I'll
I was
try to
kind of hoping
girly
to
it
get her
up.
mad at me, red in the face, maybe get punched, but nothing. You just
don't wanna
rolled
be-
with it.
You don't want to be punched by that.
Now,
Fair enough.
have you ever heard of the International Women's Cigar Society?
No.
Well, there's something you should be part of. There's a group.
Cigar
think there's-
Babes is another
Yeah?
offshoot of it.
I think it's a group of maybe 3 or 4 women across the country. No, I don't know.
Well, by my counting, we have at least 10.